What's that you say? Edward and Tom's repairs are almost done? I see. That's no problem. I'll expect Thomas to arrive soon then.
Henry had just arrived from taking the flying kipper that morning. The other engines were all awake and chattering amongst themselves. The same topic was on all their minds, the Golden Jubilee. It's going to be a disaster. A day when there's important people, a special train, the railway's reputation on the line, and going by our track record these past few days, we are going to stuff it up royally.
Look, now you're overreacting, Henry. Look on the bright side. Just because of what happened to Gordon, Edward and Thomas doesn't mean that something's going to go wrong with the Jubilee.
I'm sure it'll be alright.
Of course it will. Have you ever known any of the Fat Controller's plans to go wrong?
Well,
Bother. Now I've got a puncture. If I change my wheel, I'm sure to dirty my suit, and that would never do.
Any of his important plans?
No, that's never happened. You all remember when the Queen visited. That went as smoothly as anything.
See, Henry, like I said, you're worrying about nothing.
says you. Don't any of you forget, there's a first time for everything. It was the morning of the Golden Jubilee, and the Fat Controller went to visit Edward at the works. His wheel was now back in place and he simmered happily.
Morning, Edward. I see Thomas has already left.
He wanted to get a head start to the junction, so to speak.
Ah, yes, that's understandable. In any case, Edward, I see that your repairs are done.
Yes, sir. All shipshape and ready to go.
That's good to hear, 'cause I have a rather special job for you. I need you to run ahead of the special train and make sure the line is clear.
Oh, sir, does that mean that...
Wait and see. I need you to wait at the junction for Pip and Emma.
Of course, sir. I'll be on my way.
Meanwhile, at the big station, crowds began to gather. A red carpet had been laid out neatly on the platform. There were to be speeches and a special luncheon for the visitors. Gordon, James and Henry watched the events unfold from a nearby siding.
Oh, I say. Last time we had a red carpet, it was for the Queen's arrival.
Something is going to go wrong. I can feel it.
Are you serious, Henry? Now you're just going mad. Everything is going smoothly, there's nothing to worry about. It's almost like you want something to go wrong.
Pip and Emma were due to arrive at any minute, and the engines waited hopefully at the junction.
The wind's picked up. It's really cold.
Yes, hopefully it doesn't get strong enough to disrupt the special train.
And we're right on time. Oh, hello, Edward. Got your lamps arranged?
Well,
Off you go then. We'll follow you in a few minutes.
Just then there was an unusually strong gust of wind.
I'll just let Edward go. What on earth?
I told you. The engines all watched on with confusion. Just then the signalman ran out of the box.
All of the signals and points from here to Tidmouth have failed.
Oh, brilliant. It would happen on a day like today, wouldn't it?
Does this mean the train is cancelled? Are we just going to be stuck here?
Oh, come on, Emma. You clearly haven't been that well acquainted with us, because one thing's for certain, us Sudrians don't give up that easily. Excuse me?
Yes?
You said that the signals and points have failed, yes?
Well, yes. No chance of controlling them.
That's only from the signal box. I assume the points can still be turned manually, right?
You're not seriously suggesting that we...
I am. It's our best bet. It'll take a while longer for each of us to arrive.
You'd best write a note to the Fat Controller. I'll deliver it to him, just so we can inform him of the delay.
Right then. I'll make the arrangements.
Within minutes the arrangements were made and Edward set off from the junction. Along the line he was flagged along by various workmen, who also manually set the points to allow him to pass. It was a long and slow process, but it ensured that the trains kept on running. Soon enough, Pip and Emma departed the junction with their special passengers, followed by the branch line engines. At the big station, everyone was getting impatient. The Fat Controller was worried and he kept looking to the clock. I knew it! I absolutely knew it! It's all gone completely wrong! There's still no sign of Edward, never mind the special train!
Oh, shut it, will you? Your boiler aching isn't doing much to improve the mood.
I've a right to be like this, James. I'm being realistic. I mean, it's not like Edward's just going to come around that corner right now.
You were saying?
Edward, what's happened? Why have you taken so long?
Excuse me, sir. We've got a note from the Knapford signal box. Should explain everything.
I see. An unfortunate mishap indeed. But I'm glad to see you managed to push on, Edward.
Thank you, sir, but it was really Thomas's idea.
How clever of him. Speaking of which, when do you think him and the special train will arrive?
The engines all looked on as the carriage doors swung open and out stepped a royal personage, the Prince of Wales.
I apologise for the delay, sir. There was an incident with our signalling system and...
No, it's quite alright. I saw everything from my carriage, and I must say I'm very impressed with how the situation was handled. My utmost thanks to these engines for bringing me here in the end, without whom I'm sure we'd all be stuck at that junction.
The Fat Controller then introduced the royal visitor to each of the engines. He gave notable thanks to Thomas for coming up with the plan to combat the signal failure.
I have heard about you all after the Queen visited here many years ago, and I can assure it has been absolutely delightful meeting you all for myself. My mother was right. Your railway and your engines are a credit to you.